So we have a tour of one of the holiest places in the world. In our books it is the holiest. If anyone would like to hold the camera so while I speak I can just get this on film.
Can I sit on that? Is that wrong?
Sit down, very happily. So guys, this is, obviously everyone knows, the Kotel is a remnant from the temple time. We're going to go back all the way to the first man, like it says in the Bible. First man we know, his name was Adam Rishon, the first man. And this first man, he was taken from the rock from this place, formed into a person, and from him came his other half. Yeah, it took from him his rib, according to our books, and formed Eve, Adam and Eve. Yeah, or Chava from our books. The translation is Eve. So those two were formed from this place. That's the formation of the first man in creation. Beginning all began here. This is called the Even Yasir. The whole beginning happened here. Now, what's very appropriate this week happens to be the Parsha where Moshe sent the spies to check out Israel. Check out what's going on here. Shlach, he sent them. So in this place, this is where a holy place, which at that time, from the time of Adam, was always recognized as a holy place. Not only was it the formation of the world, but people knew, they said, the spiritual leaders of each generation knew that this was a holy place and they used to pray here. Noah, for example, he had a son called Shem. Shem survived with him in the Noah's Teva.
That's Shem, you mean?
Shem. And Shem made his yeshiva here. His place of learning was here. And his praying and offering. He was the Kohen, he was the priest. He's called Melchizedek, the Torah calls him. Right? So he came, and when Abraham made his war with the nations to save people that had been captured, he came and brought back those people to him. And when he brought those people back, Shem came out and blessed him. And there was an idea that Shem had named this place Sholem. Now Abraham, when he had his test, the 10th test, his son Isaac was offered up here. Now the Arabs claim it was Yishmael, but we know from our books, which will go much further back, it was Yishmael. It was not Yishmael, it was Yitzchak. Yeah, I made a mistake with that.
God was testing him, wasn't he?
Testing Abraham to see, because his son represented everything.
This wasn't the place where he did it, was
He
it?
did the test here, on
I
the
thought
Har
it was
Maria.
And he
Mount-
stopped
Har
him.
Maria,
Did you
that's
know
what
that?
this is
Is it?
Har Maria.
He
It was-
tested him and then stopped him.
And even to get
Test
it
him
was
to
a
do
whole
what?
test.
Whether he'd sacrifice
It
his
was
own son.
because it
I
meant
didn't know it
the
was
whole
here that he did
beginning
it.
of the Jewish people. That's
I don't
right.
understand what you said Adam, because the first you heard about him is in the Garden of Eden.
Yeah, that's it.
But why did you say
He was formed from here, and he was formed in Garden Eden. Was
But
it's very
Eve was
happens-
formed in the garden.
You're asking very good questions, and if
But
you
I
want to
did
go
all
into
that
the
first.
mysticism of how the Garden of Eden was a high level of
I
this
thought it
world,
was in Africa.
and once they sinned, they were sent back down into the world.
I see.
So they
I
were
thought it was-
originally, but they were formed from this world.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, because even though they lived in a higher existence, but they were formed from this world. Because the point of a Jew is to be in this world, not to be up in the clouds. Yeah? So let's get back now to Abraham. Abraham offered up his son
Yes,
Isaac.
the
Now,
test.
now let's get the chronological. 10 generations from Adam was Noah. 10 generations from Noah, including Shem was one of them, was Abraham. Abraham, there's 20 generations of people in the world, and the 20th generation was Isaac. Was 21st, excuse me, was Isaac. Isaac was offered up here as to be an offering to God, and that happened here. Now, Abraham, Isaac, and Yaakov all knew that this was a holy site. Isaac lived that offering; it ended up being a ram instead. And when basically Yaakov came to learn here, when his brother was angry with him, brothers of Esau, and that's where they say the Christian world comes from. His brother, we can see they're all represented
Twins,
in
weren't
here.
they twins or
They were
brothers?
twins.
Yeah.
They're all represented here. We've got Ishmael, we've got Esau. They're all represented the two other nations, and they both have their religions. And it's the east and the west. And
That's why
they had their Sabbath on Friday. The other ones
Yeah,
have it on
that's
Sunday.
Ishmael Hagar's son.
Yeah, very good. So anyway, we have Yaakov was learning here before he went off to find his wives, and he also knew it was a holy site, and everyone had an understanding of that. And it says there's lots more stories in the Torah which you can all look up about Yaakov's connection to this place. Before he left Israel to find his wives, he came to meet him and he prayed. Anyway, the main point of the ladder, the dream, the ladder, the main point to just what I'm getting at is it's constantly featured as a holy
Was
site.
that place.
And this was the place in all the key stories. Now,
Were they both
Creation.
religions believe in Abraham?
so we'll talk about that. That's something
I
that
don't know how
unites
to
us. That's true.
Why?
So
He's
now,
videoing it. Just leave it.
interesting,
Oh, we take this
interesting thing is
I'm bored of it.
that after this story with Abraham, Yaakov, and Yitzhak and Yaakov, we ended up in Egypt, in Mitzrayim, and all that time this place became taken over by Canaan, the Canaanites. They were living here before, but they basically took over the place. And it was only later, after we went through all the travails of Egypt, and out of Egypt, the Torah, like we have
49
Pesach
years.
night, the Passover night, and 40 years in the desert. This week we didn't speak good about Israel, so we had to go another 40 years in the desert. So the point was, really 39, but the point was that by that point, yeah, that we'd been going through this whole journey, come back finally to Israel. The land wasn't like the descendants from Shem weren't here anymore. There was a different situation. We had to basically invade and take over. Like you said before, to have a kingship, we had to sort of conquer a little bit. So we did. That was the mitzvah. We had to get rid of the nations. Either they converted and they didn't. So basically,
Can't hold
we
it
had to,
anymore.
without getting into all the stories, we had to conquer this land.
We
And that
can't hold
took-
this any longer. It's making our arms ache.
Oh, okay.
It's still on record.
Here, you can have it.
Recorded it
That
all.
was 400 years or so, yeah, that they were trying to conquer the land, and there was the judges of the land, like Samson, the Gibor, and all these
I don't
famous
know all
names,
this, Mum.
Ruth. Now, 400 years, there came a kingship of Shaul the Melech. Shmuel, we spoke about on the way here. Samuel the prophet, anointed him. And then he anointed David the Melech.
Didn't
because
Samuel anoint
David and
Shaul,
Goliath.
Shaul first.
Saul? Okay.
Saul, and he lost the kingdom
Saul.
to David.
David and Goliath.
David, yes, because David was the one who was chosen by God to basically to conquer, finish off the conquest,
King David.
and to rebuild the temple. He couldn't build the temple because he had blood in his
So he
hands.
left it to
So he
Solomon.
left it to his son Solomon. Very good. Now,
Oh, I didn't
but he
know
planned all of this in over here. There was the palace of David, which is a bit behind here.